Good morning, everybody. I'd just like to introduce you to Patrick Begadon here from Aughmacart. Aughmacart is situated close to Rathdowney, Cullyhill, Abbeyleix and Durrow. Patrick has a very, I suppose, a brilliant history going back to a heritage history going back to 1851 when his grandfather Martin first came here. And so I'd like to introduce you now to Patrick Begadon. Good morning, Patrick.
Good morning.
Can you tell me a little bit about how it all started back in 1851?
No, it wasn't 1851. You mean here?
Yeah, when your grandfather was born, say that.
Right. It started in Rapla, actually. Rapla is the next town's land to Aughmacart. And it is considered to be, it was Aughmacart parish at the time. Because in Griffith's valuation, the whole area of Cullyhill was the parish of Aughmacart. And that stemmed from the monastic times, which goes back 1,500 years almost. So that's, hence it was the monastery and the abbeys and the castles that created all that. So there would have been around 2,000 to 2,500 residents in Aughmacart at one stage. And there would have been also an Irish school, the first Irish school, we believe, in Ireland, and also the first medical school was formed in Aughmacart. So, to move on to my great-grandfather and grandfather then, he was with his father, my great-grandfather, down in Rapla, and they had likewise business down there. So, he decided to branch out in 1883 to build this place here from an absolute swamp. It was nothing short of a swamp. And the road that runs outside here wasn't always there in the monastic times. Just called the new line. So when they put the new line or the new road from Trennant of Old Town down to Cannonwood Cross, that gave a cutaway point in here. So therefore it cut off this swampy piece because the River Gowley flowing beside it, and that's why he came here to build. So he built it, and it was formed in 1883 and probably years following as well. But the main building was done in 1883. And started the business off here with the forge. There was 3 smiths in the forge. This one here, this fire, that opening there, and that opening up there as well. So the 3 smiths working simultaneously in the forge.
Patrick, as he explained there about making the grenades here in the forge here, he's about to show us one here and give us an idea of actually how they were made in the forges. All right, Patrick, you can show us.
No, this is one of the grenades that was actually made here. And it's the only one we have, actually, believe it or not. We're lucky to even have that, because a man from Ballycolly seemed to have one of them. When my brother went to Ballycolly in 1962, this man said he had a grenade that was made in Aughmacart, and this is it. So, how they were made was in wooden moulds. Now, as I say, I can't exactly explain, but the metal was broke into small pieces, as I explained before, and put into a heavy metal pot and melted in the fire here. And they were poured into the moulds, and there was sand put in so that it would create a centre for the explosive to fit in. Now, of course, the grenades were made in lots of other places as well. In Abbeyleix also. McHugh's made them also. They were made in Kilkenny. A man actually wrote a book about it, and he spoke to Pat Kenny. I heard him on the radio one morning talking about it. And he was in Lincoln jail, the man from Kilkenny, apparently. But one of the keys that sprung De Valera from Lincoln was actually made here and sent to De Valera with a file in it, so that it could be filed to fit a bit better. So there were 3 keys made. That's Eamon Duggan did an article on it, I read it actually, and he said there were 3 keys made. But he didn't say there was one made here or anywhere or anything like that. But anyway, maybe he was counting 3 without the one was made here. But I do know there was one made here. But that's here. That's as it is. So no one really knows which key that sprung Abbeyleix from Lincoln Jail. So when I don't know how many moors they had, but I do know that the moor that they had there could be several more, because we could pour in a lot of stuff at the same time, but it could only fit so much into this pot anyway when it was liquid, and that would only make so many grenades, which made sense. And the mold was poured into the mold, as I said, and then when there were half shells were filled, they were turned over and joined. And so they had to come to the point where they could make these that they break asunder in bits. There couldn't be a full cover. It couldn't be full without these, which was a big job to get them in it. So they just shattered in bits, and that's what made them so effective.
Patrick, in 1920 when the Black and Tans were here, did you ever discover your father and your uncle Kieran having made those grenades?
They knew they were making them, but they couldn't find them. They just couldn't find them, no, because they were in the secret room. And there was a story told about my Uncle Kieran one time when they were coming, the messenger would come and say the Tans were on the way. And there was a barrel in the yard, and he got into the barrel, of course, only one end on it. He got into the barrel, and the Tan was sitting on the barrel, and he had kicking his heels against the barrel, and Kieran was down under the barrel. He couldn't get in time. That was one story. But he was the brain box behind the actual making of the grenades. He was 8 years older than my father. He was 27 when they started at this, and my father was 19. Now, for their effort, of course, they were caught eventually up in the Grove. And my father did 6 months in the Curragh for his efforts. And Kieran did 6 months in Kilkenny because he was in the IRB. My father was IRA. And also a neighbour of ours, Jack Mack, Billy Mack from Old Town Construction, his father and uncle also was captured and did 6 months in down in the Curragh for being involved in it. And this voice here is probably working. After about 130 years, the same voice is still here on the bench that this is being turned in. It's the place is 138 years old, so this is probably one of the first voices coming out. sideways. You're now turning this, okay? Give you a tap of hand now. Okay. Now we'll take that and leave the bend there and you have to turn this over. Nice over. And back in this way again. And that completes the scroll.
Turn